Chapter 30. For you. He looked at her, then at Amanda, and kept it. She told him he was responsible, for she had never seen any man after giving birth. She intended it. I cannot let other women take everything. If I cannot give you the love you want, let me give you as many children as possible. She commanded him to leave the children of other women there, for she was not ready to see the happiness of other women in her house. Ava started from where she stopped. She ever backed at him. Days passed. Cassius discovered that Arrow had bought Nina a brand new house and put a security guard to watch her. When he one day tried to intercept her inside the hospital, Nina showed him a restraining order which barred him from accessing her like it was. She had become untouchable. Cassius waited for that time to meet Arrow while going to see Nina, but it did not come. He craved for her love every day through messengers, but Nina turned him down. While at the Horizon Cafe, he saw Atticus emptying bottles and shared the table as Sammy joined them. Cassius attacked Sammy that his friend crossed lines when he stole his wife, yet he first snatched Ava. This forced Atticus to hit the table. He was drinking because of Ava, who had run away from him days back. He cried that he had toyed with Ava and did everything for her, only to choose a confused writer. He swore to revenge. Cassius was the first to clap as he bought Atticus's idea. He requested Sammy to join them because the same man had snatched Ivy from him. Sammy explained that Ivy and he were simply friends who hanged out whenever they wanted, because Ivy told him all the time that she liked Arrow. He warned them that Arrow had me who could fight back in case of any attack. The two warned Sammy against his intervention, who also pledged to remain neutral for the safety of his wife Harper. They drank till late in the night when Harper picked Sammy. They went discussing about Arrow, who was in trouble. Sammy told her that she should tell Ivy and Nina about what might happen to their man. Nina warned Arrow that an attack from Cassius and Atticus the following day and advised him to call the police, although Arrow refused. He explained that if gods had decided to take him that hour, he would embrace that. That morning, she met Ivy and asked her to visit Arrow. However, Ivy turned the suggestion down, for she respected Ava's home. Nina dragged her there. She was holding a dagger. Reaching the gate, it was open. Atticus and Cassius were already inside. Cassius put a lock on my door, then Atticus knocked at Arrow's. Ava opened to see the one knocking. Atticus pulled her hand and called Arrow out. He knew trouble had come. He put on his sportswear and moved out as Ella woke me up. Reaching the door, it was locked. I knew my brother was in trouble. Cassius was so gigantic that one single blow would leave Arrow down. Atticus was also an ex-boxer who had commendable skills in martial arts. Arrow walked to the center and asked them why they were at his home that early morning. Atticus: I thought you have a palace that attracts women, but these small apartments that cannot support a family of two. Look at Ava. She was mine. You took her. See what you did to Ivy and Nina. Do you still consider yourself a real man? You might have raped them, for you are good at that. Ivy spoke from behind that he never raped her, as Nina shouted that she loved him. When Cassius saw Nina, He attacked and gave her a fine slap on the belly as Atticus went where Ava was with a dagger. He wanted to take her first. When Aro saw this, he called them coward hyenas who feared to fight their own battles and continued to beat up women. They stood and watched him with contempt, then attacked to finish him. It did not take long. I didn't know that Aro had spent the entire night reading Mortal Kombat slides. He bent down and hit Cassius below the belt, then he double-kicked Atticus to stagger backwards. Atticus stabilized, boxed Aro heavily, and saw the whites ironing clothes in Rome. He felt dizzy with one blow and forgot about Cassius, who regained and kicked him around the neck. I shook the door and shouted at them to leave him, but they could not listen. While shouting at them, they did not know that Aro was gathering sand down there. He stood up and called Cassius, who turned with open eyes, which Aro temporarily blinded. Then he turned to Atticus, whom he wrestled down and hit his face with heavy blows while shouting that a man's house was his castle. He continued beating up Atticus until Cassius pulled him. Aro turned and went into a fist combat with Cassius. I called one of my men at the police station, who replied that 2 women had called a few minutes back. They promised to dispatch 2 constables soon. Cassius kicked Aro around the ribs, and I saw Ivy crying. Era pointed at Nina. She was praying to God while Ava closed the eyes. None of them could rescue him. Aro jumped and grabbed Cassius's neck and squeezed it restlessly and roared like a lion. Cassius boxed him around the belly, but Aro never gave up. In a few minutes, Cassius lost control. His hand fell on his body. Aro shouted like a monster. We called him to stop, for he was about to kill a person. He released poor Cassius, who fell down, then ran to the store, from where he picked a peso and beat the 2 like children. He was simply Aro the sleeping gladiator. He had fought for his women, who ran and embraced him. He stood in the middle of satisfied, beautiful women. He was the pregnant husband. He watched the 2 men tiptoeing as he got a hammer and hit the locks of my door. I was proud of him, so happy to hug my heroic brother. No one believed that he had done it. To my surprise, the constables never showed up. Little did we know that Atticus had paid them off to stay away from Aro's apartments. Harper and Sammy finally came. They were so happy to see Aro with his women. All entered for breakfast as Harper got a chance to see baby Amanda. Nina shouted that she felt pain. All paid attention to her, which Ivy did not like. She also shouted. Aro jumped to check on her. We laughed at once as Ava finally said it was 1 month, but kicking. It was a wonderful Z family with no problem. The wife stepped forward with the 3 fingers up and asked Aro to stand behind. I joined, my wife as well. It was time for photos. Harper wore more perfume. Sammy turned off the radio. He did not want to hear any noise. And maybe he thought the sound had an impact on the snaps. That was him. The end.